You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. Thank you for tuning in to The Lyndia Grant Show. It is March. We're in March now, and we just had a presidential debate. I've been so used to saying Black History Month, but we're in Women's History Month now. But we are on Tuesday night talking about what happened with our State of the Union. We're going to talk more about what happened in the state of our Black Union, probably, because we have Dr. Julian Melville on. And then our second half, we're going to have Sway Mitchell. He's talking about a play, a documentary that he did about basketball. And it's a historical, true story document. But right now, let's just go straight to Dr. Julian Melville so she can talk to us about the state of America based on what happened tonight on the black side of the union and the white side. Dr. J.
Oh, good evening, Lyndia. It's good to be with you. This has been just 2 days of the week, and it's been a fasten your seatbelt kind of week. Let me start with some very good news. Roland Martin did a State of the Black Union. He had Reverend William Barber speak. He had several commentators in the room, Greg Carr, Linda Carr from Higher Heights, Eugene Craig. Really good group of folks talking about this. He got 250,000 people on the Black Star Network. That is amazing, and congratulations to Roland. 250,000 people. So we have to just think about that for a minute. Everybody is bemoaning where we are, and there's a lot to bemoan, but guess what? And still we rise.
That's
what
right.
Roland has done is he's created an alternative platform. They ask people not to watch CNN and all those who are doing the Orange Man, but instead to tune in to Reverend William Barber and the Roland crew. And they started at about 7, a little after 7. Reverend Barber spoke at 9, and it's hitting on midnight, and they're still on talking. So we are the people that we have been waiting for. The FAFO movement, and I know you're a holy woman, so I just have to say FAFO, is for us Black people, is what will we do? That's it. What will we do? So 250,000 people watching on the Black Star Network. Right on. That's all I have to say. I'm just really lifting Roland up. I'm really pleased about that. Now, flip side, they asked us not to watch, but you know me. I really didn't watch much, but I did flip back and forth a few times. That man talked for 99 minutes. 1 hour and 39 minutes. And didn't say anything. Told lies. Misrepresented data. So what do we expect?
Yeah.
Seriously, what do we expect? My hero of the week is Congressman Al Green from Texas, who stood up and shouted that Trump did not have a mandate to get rid of Medicaid. So good for Congressman Green. He was escorted out. Now, if we go back down memory lane, let's remember when North Carolina Congressman Charles Wilson yelled, "You lie," at President Obama. They did not escort him out.
They didn't put him out. No, they didn't.
They let him. He said, "You lie." So we have a double standard, but we know that that's not news. The biggest news to me of the week is the tariff situation. Effective Monday night, Tuesday morning, midnight, tariffs went into effect. 25% tariffs. Let me help you understand what that means. Let's say that someone imports a dress that they value at $100. Now it's going to be $125 being sold to the manufacturer. And the manufacturer can then choose to absorb some of it, raise the price, do any number of other things. But these tariffs are inflationary. Justin Trudeau the Prime Minister of Canada, although not for long, gave a scathing speech to talk about these tariffs, especially as they relate to Canada, our neighbor, our friendly neighbor, for as long as we've been here, as long as this country has been here. And I have to give the young man, I say young man, he's in his 40s, I have to give him credit for taking the orange man down a notch. He addressed him by his first name. He didn't say Mr. President. He said Donald. Donald. It was a great speech, and it really did speak to what this man has done. A young sister at the Washington Post, she is an assistant opinions editor, and she wrote a piece, Jasmine Green, I believe her name is, wrote a piece on how you wreck a country in 43 days. The orange man has been president for 43 days. He's upended our economy. He's created inflationary actions, and he has damaged our international reputation. He has had an unseemly public spat with the president of Ukraine, which, of course, that president has been forced to backtrack a little bit. But he's had an unseemly conversation with him, and he has basically diminished us in the eyes of the world. Who's going to believe us now when we say we got somebody's back? Seriously? But in any case, this is what we have. Reverend Barber, of course, is always on point. He is an anti-poverty activist who speaks to the least and the left out. And he did that again this evening. He always does. And so we look forward to his continued leadership as we deal with resistance. I am not happy with my Democratic friends. I'm happy with Congressman Green and with those who had little signs, but it seems to be very uncoordinated. Democrats, get your act together. The nation is hoping and praying for you to get your act together. Now, I do think that, and then at some point in the speech, the 47th president said there was no space for unelected bureaucrats. What is Elon Musk? What is Elon Musk? Mm-hmm. And so we really, I hope that some Democrat with conscience and backbone will call for an investigation of Elon Musk. Why? He has billions of dollars of federal contracts. He is getting contracts from some of the agencies that he is looking over. SpaceX, his company, is a conflict of interest. There's so much about him that's a conflict of interest. And the bottom line there, conflict or not, is the orange man depends on him implicitly. But Elon Musk is something that we really, truly must look at. We also look at the way that the Republican, they were quite united this evening, getting up and clapping like little marionettes. Whenever the president said anything, they got up. Now, there were times when Democrats might have risen, but I'm glad they did it. I mean, we're not going to be manipulated by this nonsense. Someone said they should have stood up for the young man who has cancer and wants to be a police officer. Some say that others should have stood up at other points. But the point is that we are in resistance and we are in opposition. Just Democrats, please get it together. It's time for y'all to get it together, which means we must do some other things around this. But the Republican, although they act like they're in lockstep, what we're seeing, which is cracking me up, is Republicans going back to their districts where people have been laid off, where people have lost their jobs, where people, veterans, are scrambling to get their health benefits. And so at these town halls, people are showing out.
Yes,
they are showing out. And to the point that the Republican National Committee and others have advised Republicans not to have town halls anymore because they don't want to hear it. Well, the fact is that they're going to hear it because as long as they continue on this path.
20 seconds.
Yes, ma'am. Lastly, I want to say a shout out to Alyssa Botkin, Democrat from Michigan, who gave the Democratic response. She did a beautiful job. She's moderate, middle of the road, but she called out the errors in the Orange Man's speech. So I want to give her a shout out for that. That's it for me today, Lyndia. I could go another 10 minutes if I had it, but since I don't, I'll stop there.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Julian. I appreciate you. I hope to help the listeners out there tonight. Now we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back in a moment.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
And we are back now. We're going to start the second half of our show. You're listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Today, my second guest is Sway Mitchell. He is a movie producer, has won awards from Howard University, and his movies have featured a lot of national stars. And I'm going to just let Sway go right ahead and talk about a premiere that he's got coming up, another one of his movies that's featuring basketball and sports, I think it is. Sway, talk to us. How are you today?
I'm very well, Lyndia, and thank you so much for having me on your show, and it's good to be back to greet your audience again. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yes, as you stated, I have a new movie. It's entitled The Game That Changed College Basketball. It is a documentary film on the historic 1974 ACC championship game between the University of Maryland and NC State University. The importance of this game is that in 1974, only one team per conference could represent its team in the NCAA basketball tournament. In this particular year, the University of Maryland was the number 4 team in the country, the number 4 ranked team in the country. Their opponent was NC State University, and they were number 1 in the country, had the great David Thompson, the Hall of Famer, playing on that team, along with Tom Burleson and Monty Tao. Some of your older viewers may know who I'm speaking of, and some of the historians may know. University of Maryland also had an outstanding team that year. They had the great John Lucas, Lynn Elmore, Tom McMillan, Maurice Howard were on that team, all Americans and all future pro basketball players. But what was at stake was that they couldn't play for only one team could play for the championship of the national championship we're speaking of. And so they came into this tournament. Both of them knew that somebody was going to go home sad, but the other person was going to go on to meet their goals of winning a national championship. And so it actually was one of the greatest games ever played. It ended up being a great game played by two great teams. It was actually called the greatest college basketball game ever played for many years. Recently, there was a game played by Kentucky, University of Kentucky and Duke, which now has surpassed this game. But this game here, up until the 1990s, was considered the greatest game ever played. Unfortunately for us local fans, University of Maryland lost that game, ended up going nowhere that year. And the University of North Carolina State, or North Carolina State University, shall I say, ended up winning the national championship that year. They beat the great UCLA team that starred Bill Walton, which was undefeated for 3 years straight. They beat that team in the semifinals to go on to win the national championship. and University of Maryland went home. Now, University of Maryland was so highly considered, they still ended up ranked number 4 in the nation in the final polls, even though they didn't make it to the NCAA tournament because of these rules. The next year, in 1975, the NCAA changed the rules. They said, we can't have this. We got to change the rules. So they changed the rules to do what we now know of as Selection Sunday, where for the first time they had an at-large bid, meaning that even if your team didn't win the conference championship, you still could make it to the NCAA tournament if you were one of the top teams in the country. So they expanded the field to 32 in 1975, and then later they expanded to 64, and now we have 68 teams that are selected for the NCAA tournament every year, and it's coming up at the end of the month. We'll see it again every month, every year. We have what's called March Madness, which begins with Selection Sunday when they select the teams. And so that's what this game talks about. This documentary talks about that game and how it changed college basketball.
And I want the listeners to know that when I first met Swade and his team, they were producing Nocturnal Agony. Nocturnal Agony, another movie that he featured. And so he brought some of the stars up to the radio station. Two of the stars, I'm trying to see their names right now. Tell me the names, everybody know them.
Yeah, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs from Cooley High stars in that movie, and Renee Watson.
Yes, I'm looking at the pictures of them.
Yeah, Renee Watson, she's a well-known star.
And they were actually at Radio 1 helping us talk about it. So I was excited about working with him. And then he had Two Saved, another one that had some celebrities in it. Then Straight Up Go-Go, and now the game that changed basketball. So I just want y'all to know that Swade is an award-winning filmmaker. He is known for his movies and acquisition and distribution of independent African-American films and television series for United Filmmakers. And so this is going to be an exciting opportunity. And for you all, tell them how they can get tickets and where it's going to be and all of that.
Yes, well, we'd love for you to come out. It's going to be this coming Sunday. That is Sunday, March the 9th. At the Bowie Center for the Performing Arts. The Bowie Center for the Performing Arts, which is located at 15200 Annapolis Road in Bowie, Maryland. And the event starts. We have a VIP reception that we are having refreshments and food, and you can also have a meet and greet with the stars. That starts at 4 p.m. sharp. And then 6 p.m. the movie will start. We'll screen at 6 p.m. And so you can get your tickets by going to www.unitedfilmmakers.net, .net, not .com. So again, that's unitedfilmmakers.net. And there's a landing page right there on the opening page where you can purchase your tickets to the premiere. We'd love to see you. Now, we do have a special. I don't know if I have time to mention that.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so we're offering any of our churches or any listener to WYCB, if you purchase 20 tickets, if your group, organization, sorority, fraternity, or church purchase 20 tickets, we will match those 20 tickets with free tickets. So it's a one-for-one. So you'll get 20, you'll get a total of 40 tickets if you purchase 20 or more. If your congregation. So it's everybody in the congregation. So as they say, they used to say, tell Lottie, Dottie, and everybody.
And everybody.
Come on in.
Come on after church on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
It'll be a good project for you all to enjoy.
Absolutely. We love to have you. Love to have you.
Well, tell us who some of your celebrities are that's playing in this.
Absolutely. Well, we have the great Len Elmore, who was a former NBA player, was one of the great players on that team. He is my co-executive producer of the film. He will definitely be there, along with Maurice Howard, who also played on that team. He was a starting shooting guard, along with the great Tom McMillan, the Rhodes Scholar, as they call him, former senator out of New York, also a member of that team and a great professional basketball player himself. He played University. He will be there. Also, we're talking to David Thompson. He's in the documentary. I believe he's coming up from North Carolina, but I have to confirm that. But he has been invited. Mm-hmm. So those of you who remember Hall of Fame player David Thompson, he could be there as well. And so this meet and greet was, of course, I will be there. I'm the director, Shuaib Mitchell. I will be there. We'll all be there to greet you. Now, I will say this. If you buy a VIP ticket, we have a special, outside of the meet and greet and free food and refreshments, I have a signed DVD of my movie, Nocturnal Agony. I'm going to sign it, autograph it for you. It will be in your package. We'll offer that free to you for the VIP ticket. So if you purchase that, you'll get the full package, meet and greet, stars, free food, a DVD signed by me to you. What more could you ask for? So great opportunity to come out.
Well, that just about does it for our time, Sway. But tell them again the address, the email address where they can, or the website where they can go and get a ticket, and give them a telephone number in case they need to call.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Lyndia. The website is www.unitedfilmmakers.net. UnitedFilmmakers.net. And if you have any questions, please call 240-354-4412. I'll repeat that, 240-354-4412. We look forward to hearing from you and hope to see you at the premiere.
All right. That's a great opportunity for everybody to get out, especially all of you sports enthusiasts. All right. Well, thank you for being my guest today, Sway. I am always happy to help you out, and I hope that when we get a copy of this show, you share it with everybody.
That's right.
And you tell them to share it, like Calvin W. Rolock used to say, with Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. All right. Thank you again, Sway. We're going to go to the close now. We thank you for tuning in to the Lyndia Grant Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's program with Dr. Julian Malvo. And then we had our guest, Sway Mitchell, who's a filmmaker and has made lots of films. In fact, I was even in one of his plays alongside Melba Moore. So I am so excited about the work that this gentleman does. He is an award-winning filmmaker and playwright. So Sway Mitchell is our guest this week, and we just hope that you all will come back and tune up with us again next week. And I always close with this. Words, thoughts, and deeds have a boomerang effect. So be careful what you send out. Scripture says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So from the Lyndia Grant Show, think on these things. Until next week, good day.
Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
July 16th through 18th, the nation pays tribute to a new national monument, the Spirit of Freedom. The names of 209,145 black soldiers who served in the American Civil War will be honored. Come out and participate in the kickoff, a tented prayer breakfast with guest speaker Congressman James Clyburn and WJLA TV7's Maureen Bunyan. The banquet will be held at the Washington Convention Center. Hear world-famous Dr. Henry Louis Gates as he tells the story of how comedian Chris Rock learned that his great-great-grandfather's name is on the Wall of Honor. Visit the memorial and museum at Vermont Avenue and U Street, Northwest Washington, D.C.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at WashingtonInformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information. Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Ida B. Wells, born into enslavement, was a journalist and activist. An avid reader, she read through the entire Bible many times. Wells was once asked to leave the ladies' car and sit in the colored train. She refused and train officials pushed her. Ida B. Wells retaliated but was pushed off the train at the next stop. A crowd of whites applauded. She vowed to get even. 3 of her close friends were lynched for opening businesses that cut into profits of whites. Everything changed for Wells. She spoke out internationally against lynching of blacks for the rest of her life. Through her efforts, lynching in America nearly disappeared by the time of her death. And NAACP founder, we salute Ida B. Wells for Women's History Month.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information. Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Be still and know that I am God. Psalms 46:10. Leave the stress of everyday life behind. Listen, a raging storm is stilled by the voice of God. A babbling brook carves a trail through the woods. The Creator talks to you and with you about His creations. It is music, God's music. God's heaven and earth is the orchestra. His creatures are the singers. His word, pure and honest, is the message. Be still and listen so that you can hear the voice of the Lord. And He said, know that I am God.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information. Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Paul was one of the great encouragers. In fact, in 1 Thessalonians, he says, therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing. And we exhort you, brethren, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with them all. See that none of you repays evil for evil, but always seek to do good for one another and all. We should encourage each other at every opportunity. That's a key to raising great kids. And in churches and in businesses, that's how to be a good leader. So encourage your children, your friends, believers and non-believers. It will help them become better people, and you will be a better person too. And happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
Thank you for listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.